Alright, ladies and gents, good morning. It's 7. It's a little bit earlier than I normally am, but my daughter's off this week, so gotta get stuff done before she wakes up. It's gonna be a Starbucks day, because this coffee ain't doing it for me. Let's see. Monday, November 21st. Changing the name on the YouTube video. I always forget till after the fact. Hopefully I'll wake up in the middle of this video. Alright guys, so let's remember, slow week. Give me a sec. I'm trying not to yawn, but it ain't working. Okay, so... Alright, so like I said, this is gonna be a slow week. We're gonna be focusing on questions, education, reviewing. So, if you just signed up, it's a good time to ask questions. If you're an old member and you're just getting back to it, time to ask questions. If you haven't been asking questions, it's a good time to start. I don't put your name on anything. You can send me a message directly to Slack, or how I can even open up Skype. Or you can email me. I don't ever mention your name, so it all stays private. Just get your questions done. And today, like I had mentioned, I'll slowly get into it. Don't think I'm too crazy. But let me get some water. Okay, so like I said, what did I say? Oh, this week's review, it's kind of slow. News-wise, we definitely don't have a lot of events. Like, Draghi's going to speak today, but I doubt it'll move anything, but straddle it just in case. Other than that, you can see there isn't really any news. If you're new to the news course, remember, we only trade London and US session, and only majors. If it's Chinese news, like for instance here we have Chinese news, we do not trade these. The spread on these is just incredibly high on any China pair, so we don't want to dick with those. Tuesday, as you can see, all we got is CAD, core retail sales. We'll be doing that one live, as long as my daughter's not awake and in my ear. Rest of the week, shit. Remember, it is a Japanese bank holiday. So if you do scalp, I would avoid the Asia session, because the liquidity and it's just not going to be there, and the volatility probably just be flat as usual anyway. I did have one person ask about if I trade Asia. I do when it's moving. It's really hit or miss. I mean, I'd say maybe 2 days out of the week you could get a good run. It's right around 8:30 my time or 9:30 Eastern time where you'll sometimes see a pop as the markets kind of turn on and start kicking in. So if I do, I watch it around 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock Eastern time and see if we start getting a movement. Other than that, Asia for me is, I wouldn't say a fun time, it's just more of a bleh. Let's see, Wednesday, bottom forecast statement we could ignore. Again, we have a 7:30 news release. For you Pepperstone freaks, crude oil inventories, FXCM, I'll be demoing it. And FOMC meeting minutes, we'll straddle it, not expecting a move. Again, that's a speech. So we're only up to, what, 2 real tradable ones? 3 real tradable ones. Well, 2 for FXCM, 3 for Pepperstone. Some of you guys are still trading this on FXCM. Just make sure you're demoing it till you get a feel for it. Thursday. German info, blah, blah, blah. This one doesn't really move. I believe last month no one really did good on this one. I would recommend demoing it just to see. It just didn't move a lot. You could see it was a 0.1 difference. If there is a bigger difference... I'm sorry, last month. Let's look. October, actually it was 1 point difference, so it really didn't move that much. But if we look 109 to 106... 108 to 106, 108 to 108, 107. It typically doesn't vary that much to cause a big move. That's why I say you can look at the history on this thing, and if there's no world events going on that you could determine that would make this thing vary a little bit larger from the previous to the new actual, you might want to demo it or pass it, because remember, if we're going to get duds, they're going to burn quick. Like, they're going to pop a tiny bit, get you into a trade, and then drop right back down and give you a small loss. So we want to kind of avoid those. Friday, second estimate, GDP, QQ, not a big mover, dude. That one's, like I said, this is a boring week. Focus on binary options if it's flat. Focus on Forex if we're trending. It's going to be mainly review and learn week. So if you have questions or you have charts, again, please send them to me. Ask your questions. Don't know what else to say there. Let me do something real quick. I need to make sure that I have this saved. So next the request for today was to review the Forex system, so we're going to go ahead and get into that. If you can give me a minute, I got to do something real quick. Alright, great. Just looking for something in my emails. I'm not finding it. Oh well. Wait, here it is. Alright, give me a second. I'm going to do something real quick. Probably going to clean up my computer this week. Again, guys, if we have questions, this is just going to be a review. 414141. Where is it? There we go. Wonderful. Let's make sure we have movement. Okay. So we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna be going over the Forex system. If you have questions, chime in. Scalp, Slack. I'm combining Skype and Slack into one word. You can tell I'm not awake yet. Goddamn cat was sleeping on me. My eyes are all itchy because he wanted to sleep on my chest, and every time I moved, he'd dig his claws into me. Alright, so for the Forex system, nothing difficult about this, guys. We're looking for a trending market. We'll start off on the 1 minute. On the 1 minute chart, it's pretty simple. I prefer it this way so I can easily spot support and resistance. If, like I say, before you trade, look to the left. So if we want to spot support, this is going to be a good one with me talking like this today. Let me get a little more water. Okay, so if we want to spot support and resistance, I find it easiest to switch to, and it says line chart. You can hold it, or you hit Alt 3, Alt 2, Alt 1. Alt 1 is bars, Alt 2 is Japanese candlesticks, Alt 3 is a line. So you can that works for anybody. But then you want to go ahead and just mark your support and resist. Look, we got peak, peak, peak. So what do we got here? And we got a valley. If we look back, a peak, peak. So if you look, this whole little zone right here is a good resist. You can mark it off up here if you want to. It's just really being aware of what's on the chart. I mean, we got a little bit. Here's another resist. Right now we can see that we're kind of flat, and we have a good support here. And down here we got another baby support. So if we turn on our candles, this should become easily identifiable. Now, if you load it up by the template, you have a white line and these green lines. What is this? From the white line up is 10 pips, from the white line down is 10 pips. Why do I have it like that? Because my goal is somewhere in the middle of here. It's 6 to 10 pips of a move when I'm trading on the 1 minute charts, well, with the Renko setup. It also tells me that the market is a little bit flat because we have a 20 pip range here. So it might be ideal for trading bins, but the market's looking a little flat. If we zoom out a little bit, looks like there was a move, then we flat, dropped, and flat. So we'd be looking for a break of this range, and then to see if a trend sets in. But right now it's a little bit flat. So knowing that it's a little bit flat, we'll move on to our next chart, the Renko chart, and take a look at it. But really, there's nothing else to see on this one at this time. So let's go to this. This is our Renko chart. You can see it's extremely flat. Let's see if we had a question. Give me a sec. Are you in live chat, Bert? You sent me a picture. I'm looking. System time 11:21, 1500. I can't see what time it is on it. It's not a full screenshot. Alright, so where were we? Oh, we're talking about this chart. So we on the 1 minute chart it looked a little bit flat, but on the Renko chart it looks flat. But let's look at what are we supposed to look at each time we jump to the chart. The first thing we want to look at is, let's go down here. This is Renko time. This is how long it takes a candle to form. This bottom line here is 1 minute, 5 minute, 15, and it actually will scale up to 30 minutes. And then it just maxes out. It just sits there. No candle will it won't move any higher. So what we can see first is the candles are kind of moving along, except we get 5 minute pokes in. So this isn't exactly the fastest moving chart, but it is moving. I'd say let's give it a ranking of like 6, maybe 7. The reason we want to know how long it takes for these candles to form is, for instance, I don't know, this one here took 16 minutes to form. So we know if we got in here, here's already, so 2 candles took 21 minutes to form. Basically, we want to get in the market when they're pretty much below 1 minute, so that way we get in a trade, get out of a trade, and we're not spending 3 years staring at one chart waiting for one candle to move. The second thing we want to do is check the average candle size. This is 15 candles, 30 candles, 60 candles. So we're averaging about 3 pips per candle. Or the candles are averaging about 3 pips. The last 15 have been 2.93, the last 30 average is 2.85, and the last 60 is 2.72. So if you look at that, it means that candles are getting a little bit bigger. So those are the... Now, I already know it's flat, but the next thing I look at to see if it wasn't flat... Oh, let me stretch, maybe this will help. Oh, sorry. Okay. That actually did help a little. Okay, so the first thing I look at is it in a light trend, medium trend, heavy trend? We know we're flat, so we're not trading this one, but we'll bring up another chart in a minute. What we want then is the second thing we jump to is we want to start looking for hints of whether we want to be trading or not. Now this is flat. If you trade flat, you're going to lose, so the hardest part is learning to identify a flat market, which sometimes it's not hard and sometimes it is, depending on your mood or whatever. We can also see here's our slow moving average. Price is touching it and staying very close to it. Here is our faster moving average, and we want price to be above it like this, but it's not. Give me a sec, let me see something. Okay, so let me answer this real quick. I have someone asking me a question, but I'm not too sure what they mean, so I'm gonna ask them if they're in live chat or not. Alright, so back to this. What we're looking at is nothing is pulled away. Like, see how it's pulled away here, pulled away here. That's good. Even though we're on a somewhat flat market, this isn't. price is the faster moving EMA is running through price. The slower moving one is just holding it. It keeps bouncing off it. So we know it's flat. But before you even know it's flat, like I said, we check. This is a go. Average candle size, average pip, average. Oh my God, I cannot talk today. The average of the candles is good, but the time, like I said, is a little bit slow, and we're on a flat market. So overall, it's a no-go on trade. Let us close this. Let's take a look at another pair. Let's try USD JPY. 1 minute it. Template. If you notice, I'm also using it says build 3.5. Reason being is I'm using median Renko. I have it set to true, and what that means, and I showed this the other day, but might as well go over it again. We'll get into the actual system here in a bit. Oh, my cat frickin' I was playing with him and he cut the tip of my finger, and it's my mouse finger, the one I push the left mouse button with and use the wheel. I am dying. And template. Alright, so let's take a look. So if you're in live chat, what do we think of this one? I'll wait here. You can type it in YouTube, you can type it in Slack, you can PM me. What do we think of USD JPY? Is it scalpable right now? I'll give you a couple different views. That'll give me time to get some coffee in me. But what do we think? Would we want to be scalping this? And if you had to guess from what's on the screen, how big do you think the range is in pips? And hopefully we'll get somebody answers. I gotta get rid of this crap because it's stuck in the template. I'm sad. I really liked it. Alright, so no one wants to answer. Remember, from the white line up is 10 pips, white line down 10 pips. So this is a 20 pip range, but we are flat. So we know we're flat. So USD JPY for today, would we trade it? No. Let's take a look to back that up a little bit more. So EMA price is bouncing off it. This is looking almost exactly like US CAD. Here's our faster EMA, and it's running through the middle of price back and forth. Another indication, no, we shouldn't be trading it. If we go to candle times, here's the 1 minute line and the 5 minute line. Now this one's a little bit faster of a pace. You can't even see the 15 minute on it. So the majority of these candles, though, are 1 minute, greater than 1 minute, or less than 5 minutes. So this one's a faster paced one. I'd give this maybe a 7 or 8 on Renko time. Next thing, what do we need to check is our average candle size, and we're above 3 pips. So average, yeah, Melvin, welcome to the group too. Is that how you say your name, Melvin? Flat and not much range. He's brand new and he nailed it on the head. So flat and not much range. So USD JPY is just a pass. Now, in order to back that up even a little bit more, like I said, you can use the fast moving average, the slow moving average. God, I'm getting these backwards. This is not my day. Fast moving average, slow moving average. They're just sticking to price like glue. So we know this is a no-go too. If we find a chart that has some goes on it, then we'll take a look at some setups. But again, we got all week. This is a slow week, so let's just focus on the easy things. We'll take this step by step. Like I said, Melvin, if you're new, if you have questions, just hit me up. I'll take the time, Melvin, to talk to you since you're here. And Bert, it looks like you're in live chat, so I'll get you next too, since you sent me a question. Melvin, do you know which one you're going to focus on first? I would honestly, Melvin, I'd do the news course so that you're done with that. Reason being is if news is coming, since we're not supposed to trade 10 minutes before news, you'll be through the news course and you can trade. Once you're through the news course, ask questions, you're all set up, then you can move on to forex or binary options, whichever one you prefer. But I'd say do the news course first, because anytime there's a news event, we shouldn't be trading, and that'll have you ready to go for news events. If you're going to be using FXCM, I know that you get a default set file, but I would use 3-pip Renko bars with a 6-pip straddle as your default, and then work from there. I've done a whole series on keeping your computer clean. I thought, and maybe I'm wrong, but I thought Amazon offered the free year to people over in the UK too. If they don't, let me know, because I'll be surprised. If you've already used it, you can just switch to a different email address and do, like I'd mentioned in the video, a virtual credit card. I'm going to be adding the Amazon section into the book this week too, since this is a slow week. But for Melvin, like I said, I would get the news down first so that whenever the news hits, you're ready to demo it. Follow along. Don't get greedy with that. I mean, a lot of the guys are doing very good in the news. You'll see when news pops, the newsroom, you'll see people posting results. There's history in there, so you might be able to see some of what's going on. I'm sorry, I'm trying not to cough. I am really just Mel, cool. US servers is good. Okay, so let me explain. FXCM is located in New York. Their main server where the data is in New York. So if you can get that North Virginia server through Amazon for $1 for a year, you're freaking set until you start trading larger sizes, and then you can just get one that gets the 1 millisecond ping. But a 7.2 millisecond ping is awesome, especially since some of the people that were using it, and this is when someone reminded me about the Amazon. I'd done that video almost 3 years ago for Amazon, and I totally forgot about it. But remember, it's your connection to where the server is. Pepperstone, FXCM, they're actually all located in New York. They're where their servers are that process your orders. So it doesn't matter where you are, it matters where that remote computer that you can get your hands on is. So if you can get a VPS that's in New York, then your ping time goes down even more. But right now we're focusing on, yeah, it's a no-brainer, especially in a year. If let's say 7 milliseconds is good enough for you, in a year all you'd have to do is, like I said, go out and get a prepaid credit card, switch email addresses, and then you can get another year for free too. But by then you'll be making enough you can just get a nice sturdy VPS. But take it step by step, go slow. For your news trades, like I said, it might be a little bit confusing at first. I do review news trades every day. That there are some I will trade if they pop. I will review them if they pop. So don't be stressed out and just ask questions. Next up, before we get into anything else, Bert, you had a question about system time. I'm not quite understanding what you mean. It says my time here at the moment is 1400 hours, and the chart it gives me a time of 1500 hours. Network time also shows 1400 hours. I'm not too sure what you mean. I can see system time on your thing says 1542. Is there any way you can do a screenshot of your entire so it shows your clock? Like, click like this, then just hit print screen, and then you can go to Paint and just hit paste and then save it and send it to me, because that'll show me everything on the screen. Because maybe I'm missing something. I'm just not getting what you're saying. Again, guys, the questions this week are great because this is going to be a slow-paced week. We can see markets are relatively flat right now. It's a good week to ask questions, get your reviews done, and yay. Okay, so USD we've determined is flat. I mean, we did get, if we look, it did break resist here. So it did break resist and closed above it, so we might get a possible move up. Actually, a nice move up. And it broke our second resist up. It'll probably drop here after this candle. I'm not taking any trades right now. I'm in education mode. I'll get to trades later. But we can see, and this is what we're looking for, all these candles are taking less than a minute to form. We have the candle size, almost 4 pips average candle size. Renko time's looking awesome. Fast crossed over slow, and we're hitting daily open. So it's probably going to stall out there for a second. We'll see. Now that we're watching this, let's talk about how to control the speed. Let's say this movement was too fast for you. You can always increase the size of these Renko boxes, and that will slow things down a little bit. If you notice, remember, I'm using the overlapping Renko boxes, 50%. And that can be set up here. And there's the drop I was talking about. Into median Renko, which means median Renko, all that means... Oh my god, my kitty just freaked me out. He crawled under my foot. Median Renko means I'm still using a 3-pip Renko box, because 3 pips for me is about the ideal speed that I can deal with. Sometimes it gets a little bit fast, but 2 pips for me was too fast. 1 pip is amazingly fast, but 3-pip Renko boxes at 1.5 pips, so 1.5 up and down. See how it draws them in a median style. I prefer it this way. If you like the head-to-toe Renko bars, this is going to come into you on what you prefer. I prefer it this way. You may prefer head-to-toe ones. A lot of people do. For some reason, I don't know. I like it this way. So we had to move up, and then immediately drop back down. So like I said, I wouldn't be touching this one. We're still at 7:30. We're in US pre-trading. Let's take a look at another chart. But okay, so first, this would be a good example of when we could get in for initial entry. Everything was good except for it was flat. We did have... Our resist was finally broken and it closed above, which was confirmed over here. Although, see how it was confirmed here? Broke. Now over here we had our second resist and it broke that candle. When I see a big candle like this, I sit out because most likely it's going to pull back after that. It's simple as trading axis. I mean, and we could see why. Here was the reason, was our daily open. Okay, so back to this. We're looking for initial entry then. So we had a resist broken, and I'm not normally like this. I'm just extremely tired. Me and my daughter have been having movie nights. Plus I had a couple too many beers when I was watching the Steelers game. I'm from Pittsburgh, so... Initial entry. Price goes above the slow. It's already above the fast and it's not touching it. So over here where our green, so we did have an initial entry somewhere at it, or about right about there. Now that's kind of close, but hey, nope, that actually wouldn't be initial entry. We want to close above our resist. Come on. Yeah, so that would have been our initial entry. Again, this was... So the candle took 0.4 seconds to form. Most likely you would have gotten in somewhere around here, because these were moving pretty fast, and it ran up about 22.2 pips. So that was a doable one, except for the fact that if you missed this, you only had one chance to get in again right here. After that, we were in no... Here, let me draw it. So let's say you finally get to the chart. This candle here was probably the most likely entry one. The reason I say that is because we can look at the amount of time it took to move these candles. 0.0167 seconds to form this candle. Really think you're going to get in on that move? You have to be high. Well, not high, because you need to respond faster. But don't get angry. If you see this and you say, fuck, I missed that good move, go down here and look at Renko time. Yeah, there was a good move, but what was the likelihood you could have gotten into it? If you didn't have entry before this candle, you missed this move. It was way too fast. I mean, all these candles put together didn't even equal up 1 minute. So from... you little pecker. So basically, this whole move here took less than a minute. So don't be aggravated if you miss things, especially when it's a flat market. If you're like me, you kind of zone out flipping through charts. Just deal with it. Don't try and jump in, because by the time you saw it, it stalled up here. Then you're going to get in, hit buy. You're like, fuck yeah, it's going, it's skyrocketing, and then it drops. Take the time to look. Well, yeah, it was going, but it hit a daily open and then dropped. And now is what we wanted to see is if it's going to come back up again. But be patient and wait on it. We'll leave that one open. I'm going to open up, I don't know. We can open up the pair I hate to look at right now, which is GBP USD. And again, guys, if we don't cover everything today, it's because one, I'm tired. Two, we got all week. If you have questions, I will have Slack open, but we will probably call this one an early day. There was tequila involved yesterday, and I'm not a big fan. So template, build 3.5, and that's the same spike as seen on GBP USD. But let's take a look then. File, open offline, GBP USD, and template. My template's called 10p because it's 10 pip, because that's my goal on a good trade is 10 pips. This one's actually a good one to look at because you see an amazing movement, but let's look at our Renko candle time down here. This whole section, and let's turn off the auto scroll. Go away, pisser. Okay, so I turned off auto scroll. You can see something happened here. There was no freaking news this morning, so something just dropped. Because if we look, we're at 14 pips on the M1 average for candles. There was no news. The only thing close to news we had, 7:30 wholesale. CAD wholesale news medium impact did not force that move. That's just insane. So I'm guessing somebody said something somewhere for the markets to spike. Let's focus on this move though. Let's see if I can get it on here. Look at the Renko time candles. Nothing is above 1 minute. So this move, this was our last 1 minute candle. After this, from here, I'll mark it. Don't auto scroll on me. So basically from here to here was just one big just piling shit on. This is what I'm talking about. You can use the Renko time quite effectively to see if it was possible for you to get in. I mean, while I was bullshitting, every one of these candles here formed in less than a minute. And if we look, they're so small I can't even get a reading on them. Here, let's go to the data window. And look, see, it's moving still. Anyone know what the news is? Because I sure as hell don't. Here, let me go to man, I can't even type in a website today. I am just pitifully messed up. Continue. I'm gonna go to my FX book at the economic calendar and see if there's popping anything. Something happened, because I mean, look at that move. That's a 103 pip move. Do not know. If anyone figures out what it is, let me know. I mean, it's giving us a nice example, a brutally exaggerated example on cable takes off to 1.24 in a hurry. Here, let's see. Yeah, Forex. I went to forexlive.com and they're saying the same thing. They don't see any news. It's spiked up. Okay, but anyway, so this does give us an over-exaggerated look of what we're looking to get into for a trade. Jesus. So all the way back here, we start looking at red and green. What we're looking for is, here's a slow, price to be above slow. We went green right here, but price is touching. And fast, it's touching. We want it clearly above. Our most, if possible, this would have been an entry candle. And then up, it's about a 12 pip move up minus spread, so you could probably pull in 10 pips there. Then we're waiting for re-entry, which would mean price came back down and came back up. Oh, excuse me. So price came down, And this is again over exaggerated, so but it's a good one. We're already green down here. We're going to ignore the fact, well, these are 1 minute candles right here, and this is the 5 minute up here, so price is moving along pretty well at this time. Again, we're just waiting for the same thing as initial entry to this. Now what do we have up here is the daily open. So here's our re-entry, but I would have only been looking, it's 9 pips up, I would have been looking for a 6 to 7 pip move and then got out. And then it just takes off. Now you could do re-entry on each one of these times because we have a nice big gap, so we know that basically momentum is working because the distance from the fast to the slow is expanding. So every time it turns green and it clears above it, like this is a possible re-entry. And being safe, this is a possible re-entry. And this is a possible re-entry. So we're up to here with 3 possible re-entries. Now let's see when we get our ass handed to us. Okay, so here's a possible re-entry. And what I would do is, yes, I would do 10 pips, 10 pip take profit, 10 pip stake loss. But what I would do on this one, and all these trades, the first thing I would be doing is my... Jesus, did I drew 2 of them? Yes, I did. My stop loss on these... Quit moving. Jesus. My stop loss would be about 1 pip or 2 pips below this swing. So price would have came back down and we would have got stopped out here. Price would have came down and we would have got stopped out here if you jumped in. Typically when I get 1 loss, what do I see? So I jumped in, but now I see that the moving average is moving back towards the slow. So it's just your little hints. This one you had no way of avoiding. Yes, it was getting a little tighter here. Basically momentum was slowing down. Your stop loss should be right under here, but then it loses. So why would we jump right back in? Let's let it run and see. Meh, it's still close, still close. Now we have re-entry and the fast moving starting to move away. Would we have seen that? Probably not, but that run there was untradeable. Unless, now, because by the time you got in, somewhere in here, you might have been able to get in. But in my opinion, that thing just took off. We don't know why. Now let's get into the over-exaggerated. So price moves up, price moves down, the fast is coming towards it. So that's a warning. If we got in on this one, stop loss goes here, and we let it ride up. Now price comes down again, and look, this is where we're going to see stop loss would have helped us a little. So price came up, this candle would have been entry. As soon as you got in, it drops, and we would have got stopped out here. So we'd want to wait, see what happens. Actually, we wouldn't even have gotten in this one because price is below the slow moving. Sorry, you can tell. If you see me make an obvious stupid mistake today, let me know. So this would have been a no trade here. Now it came up again. We're all red here. We go green here. And it's slow, fast, and green down at the bottom. You could jump in. Our swing low would be down here, which would put us way below 10 pips. So we could use the swing high here as a stop, and it would have been hit. I mean, right now we're at the point where I wouldn't, because this is going to start getting erratic. And this is, you see these candles, how they're big? Look at the number up here. This is a 1. So all these candles have been forming in less than 1 minute. And it's bumped us up so that this is the 1 minute line here. And we're what? The last 15, we're at 19.43 average pip size. Let's see what UJ looks like, because they mentioned it. UJ calmed down, it was just one little spike. How much was it? 25.1 pips, but GBP jumps up 98.9 pips. That's just amazing that it moved that quick for no reason. Something happened. Illuminati confirmed. Go to hell. Alright, so do we have any questions so far? If not, I'm going to take a 5-minute little break. We'll come back, see if there are any questions. Sorry, I need to stretch.
If you have questions, Bert, I still didn't quite get what you were saying, so hit me up again. Where did the hell did... I'm not too sure what you meant on the system time thing. If you can do a complete screenshot for me, like this, click it, do the screenshot so I can see everything with EA on there. We'll take a look at it. But give me 5 minutes, guys. Like I said, this is going to be an early one. My daughter's going to be up. Tomorrow I'm actually probably going to start around 6, so we'll have about 2 hours. But my daughter's going to be up in a few minutes. I just wanted to go over this. This is just the initial overview of the Forex. We will go over it a little bit more tomorrow. We were flat until that freaky move by GBP. I'm still not too sure why it ran like that. But give me a few minutes, take a little break, and I'll be back. And we'll see if there's any questions. Okay, I'm back. Let's see. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot. That's why I'm not trading GBP USD. The spread is normally 1.3. Since Brexit, it's almost 2 pips, and it will pop into 2 pips. So I've been avoiding, if you look back on my old videos, I've been bitching about GBP since Brexit happened. The other thing to mention, guys, remember, Thanksgiving's coming, so that's going to toss more shit into it because that's when holiday trading is going to start settling in. And remember, for holiday trading, it does make it a little more difficult. If you're in the news group, you're fine. Just stick to it. All we're going to do is watch for the spread to make sure it doesn't increase to an out of control level. Everything else is containable or doable. As for binary options and scalping, as we settle into the holiday trading, you will not see me trading as much. I just don't want to put my account at risk. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Some good questions. I know this was kind of a weird review because of that spike. Tomorrow we'll see if we can take a look at it a little more. If the markets settle down, I'll go live again. If my daughter isn't up, she'll probably be up in the next 10-15 minutes though. Remember, the US opens in about 7:49, 50, 40 minutes. That's the official bell. We're in pre-trading right now. With that giant move on GBP, I would not be trading it. Looks a little bit volatile, as in Theresa May gave a CBI speech to UK biz just now. Maybe the reason. Maybe, yeah. Hopefully y'all don't go down the line that the US did, that all this political bullshit affects the markets. I mean, one asshole farts and the market drops 300 points in the United States. But they seem to be enjoying Trump in office here because the US keeps getting pushed up and up. Which, they were the ones saying that if Trump came in, the markets were going to crash. They did the first 2 days, I think, and then they're like, no, we're losing money, fuck it, push it up. Let's see, for Mega, since we do have one new person in. Oops, I can't put your information on there. Mega, you should see 3 folders now. The news trading course, TAPFX, and trading access. So you should have access to all 3 of those folders now. And depending what you're signed up for, if you can't see any folders here, get with me. If you need updates, the updates are in here. So you don't have to Skype me, you don't have to Slack me, you don't have to email saying, are there updates? Just go check here and see if there's updates. Simple as that. So I switched over to this instead of the forum-based. This is easier for me to maintain with the amount of people that over the years we built up. Cool. I'm trying to think, are any last minute questions that I can do live? We'll go into this a little bit more. I'm just going to kind of sit and watch what happens with the markets at US Open. I thought it was my daughter. It's a cat. Skype. Okay, cool. Yeah, I forgot I'd sent them on Skype initially to you. As for Skype, just so you know, I'm on it like once a day. I don't really spend too much time on it. Remember, up on the bat today, we got Draghi at 10. With that big move on GBP, maybe we will get a move out of his speech. I'm not too sure. I'll probably straddle it. I'm FXCM, so I'm gonna go. Probably go 3 and 8 just to see 3 pip box with 8 pip straddle. It's a little bit big, but I'm gonna do it on demo. I'm not gonna do it live today. I didn't like that little move. So on my live account, I'm just gonna hold back. I will not be trading GBP though. Well, it's demo and I want to try out that Amazon thing. Plus, I need to try out Forex.com, so I'll probably go full balls in on the demo, and it doesn't really matter. But if there's no other questions, I am going to wake up the midget here in about 8 minutes. I don't want her to get in the habit of sleeping too late, otherwise she won't want to get up for school next week when it kicks back in. Like I said, tomorrow, though, I will be up a little bit earlier. No drinking during the week for me, so I slept in a little bit because of the Steelers game, and me and my daughter were up late watching movies after that. But I'll give it a minute or two, see if we got any other questions.
If not, remember, I will be up a little bit earlier. We'll probably start around 6:30 a.m. my time, which is 7:30 Eastern. Try and give me about 2 hours to be live, answer questions, and take some trades. Like I said, today I'm not messing with it. The spread's settling back. No, it's not. See, it was at 1.6 and it jumps to 2.1. This is GBP USD I'm watching. So I'm just going to chill and watch GBP. I will straddle that news, but other than that, guys, if you have questions, email me, Slack me. If you haven't, and I'm not saying this for like to benefit me, but on YouTube, I think there's a subscribe button. If you subscribe, it'll let you know whenever I go live. Reason being is there's some days for the guys that have been in the rooms, I'll go live 3 or 5 times a day for 5-10 minutes at a time. Reason being is I'll be setting up for news, or I saw something interesting on the market and I want to go live. So you'll get an alert if I go live that way. Or if it's too much, just don't do it, because it can be kind of annoying too if you're getting 5 or 6 emails a day about some idiot going live on YouTube. Excuse me, my nose is stuffy. Cool, y'all have a good day, and like I said, tomorrow we'll be up early. Well, I'll be up early. For some of y'all, it's the afternoon. And we'll pick up on the Forex, see if we can pick up any scalps. We do not, what is it? Tomorrow we have one trade, the core retail sales. So we'll run through that one. It's at 7:30, so I'll be up before that. And we'll do that one live and record it. So you get to see a news trade in action. We'll see what happens. Alright guys, have a good one. Hit me up with any questions.